What's good? It's your boy EB. Welcome back to Black Sheep to Go. Now, past 2 weeks been kind of rough. I've been sick twice. Got another job, a new job, a second one, and it's been busy. So I want to talk about the Phoenix Suns first in the 76ers game this past Saturday. Now, I'm not all the way sure, but I think it's the first game without Harden. I can't remember. I don't know if it is or not. But this was like the first big opponent you can say, they went up against. So one thing I noticed a lot, Devin Booker extremely missed. The offense looked as stagnant. They kept doubling KD. I want to say only 3 other players got in double figures. It was a shit show. That's all it was. They made it competitive and hit some shots, but mostly, they didn't play no good defense. None of that. So, I think of this as a complete failure because you thought, or most of the NBA, from what I've heard, thought they was going to get worse without James Harden because that was more firepower. Understandable. Now, it really was what I can say. This game wasn't even about Embiid. It was more of Maxey actually, really, really taking a leap forward. And I'm telling you, this kid, I forgot how old he was, maybe 20 years old, 21 years old, him and Kelly Oubre, they up and coming. I'm pretty sure. Because you got veterans around these guys, you got everything you need, to actually win a championship. Because let's be honest, Harden, the lack of defense is really a problem, but we're going to get to that. But one thing I really did like was Paul Reed. Yes. At the end of the third quarter and in the fourth quarter, he was in there most of the game, and he was a hell of a difference maker. Amazing game from Paul Reed. Yes, the numbers, I get it, but he was playing very good defense on Nurkic. He was doing everything you needed him to do. Energy, decision-making, defense, running the defense, everything you needed defensive-wise, points too. He did what he had to do. Now, what I really want to talk about, yes, I could go in depth, but I want to go in depth on mostly this James Harden situation. So as a reference, what I did was I took some stats that James Harden, well, most of them is what he's pretty good at and what I find as, you could say, useful stats, the advanced stats. So what I did was the 2018-2019 season, the 19-20 season, and the 22-23 season. I think he played over 55 games in all of those. So, yes, 18 and 19 was some of his best years. True. I get it. But what I did was, since he's going to the Clippers, they played a game against New York. I want y'all to look at the stats. I didn't get to see it today. But they played a game against New York today. Literally just got done. But what I did, I added all of the stats together. Just follow with me. Now, if you add all his stats for all 3 of those seasons, I want to say he was a scoring leader in one of those seasons. So with him going to the Clippers, what the Clippers can't expect, James Harden, if he plays a full season, that's what I really think you can expect out of this. So 51% from 2-pointers, mid-ranges, and layups. He's 51%. That's what I added up. Okay. 3-pointer, 35%. That's not that good. But the really thing is, the redeeming quality is the true shooting. That's 2-pointers, 3-pointers, and free throws, which he's one of the top leaders in the NBA in free throws. I want to say he's top 10. Don't quote me all the way. But that's 59% true shooting. So you can guarantee 59% of his shots he's going to make in the course of a season. And if you do that like that, you could say we're looking at about 20 big games out of that if you shoot 59%. That's going to the free throw line often. Now, another one, I know some people don't like, that's that, but usage rate is how much they use a player on offense and defense. Now, he's a liability on defense. All his defensive stats is literally bottom tier. It's not that good at all. Defensive usage, all the defensive stats, I get it. But the usage rate altogether as a whole with the true shooting is 32%. I can't remember what is a low, but I think I want to say that's like top 15 maybe. Okay? Now, the turnovers per game, very high. I guess he like getting his Jason Tatum on. If you read my blog, Black Sheep to Goat, on WordPress, he like to get his Jason Tatum on. 4.1 turnovers a game. So you guarantee 4 boneheaded plays in a game from James Harden. You're guaranteed. Anything is not nothing, and that's true. It's not going to get lower than that. You guarantee 4 boneheaded bullshit, stupid plays, and this is playoff numbers. This is everything. Even in the playoff, Game 7 of the finals, we don't know when it's going to happen. But you're guaranteed 4 boneheaded plays from James Harden. Period. This is regular season and playoffs all together, calculated. Now follow me here. I got 28 points a game. Now what you got to understand, this is playoffs and regular season added up. 28 points a game. But the caveat to that is, what I did was, I already know his points per game is going to be lowered. It's going to be lowered. Because you got to think of the star tax. That's what I call it. The star tax takes away from your points per game. 10% is gone because of Kawhi Leonard. He's ball dominant. He doesn't pass. Now, I say 5% for Paul George, because Paul George, he basically gets himself trapped half the fucking time. Then he passed the ball. So you might get the ball, you might not. So that's 15% gone off the top of his percentage. Westbrook needs the ball in his hand. I want to say he's one of the top assist leaders, as usual, with 10 a game. And I'm talking about last year, too. So if you add that, that's 17% gone already of his points per game. So we're looking at 24 points per game. And if you count in the turnovers and all that, you're only looking at maybe 20 points a game. Now the thing is, will James Harden accept that? We looking roughly, 20 to 24 points a game. Somewhere in there, I'm going to give myself a little leeway. Now this is the math I did. I ain't going to say it's foolproof. But, like I said, y'all can look up the stats from this past game because they played against the New York Knicks. I want to say in Madison Square Garden. But that's basically my thoughts on James Harden, of his numbers. And if you look at his numbers, this can work. It's just the fact of James Harden will be the third guy in line when it comes to with the basketball. Now, we all know James Harden has an ego. I say he should come off the bench like the Oklahoma City Thunder days. You could easily get that 20 points. If he come off the bench, he could easily get this 24 points with the second unit. Because no backup can guard him, if we being honest. But it all depends on James Harden. And I'll talk to y'all later.